So do you have any questions about anything so far?
Uh, um, I mean, no questions. It's a little bit harder to me to see what I'm doing wrong. Um, Even if I see like videos or rewind of what I just done, it's a little bit harder to me to find what's the problem, right? And like um today or yesterday, I don't remember the day, you upload a video about the final with Cola and Nev.
Yep.
No, with
Yeah, that was them. Yeah, that was it.
yeah.
That was today.
And like I see that you notice everything that they do, you know, and you can predict maybe what they can do or something like that with the information they give you. I cannot do that. Like I see that the final just before seeing your video, and I didn't realize of anything. Just I see. I don't know. It's a little bit complicated for me, I guess.
So I guess what you could say for something like that, as far as how do you get better at that, is there's a couple things. So number one thing is it's going to be repetition of doing it over and over again. And the first part of it is going to be like legit just analyzing any set, right? Analyzing literally any set at all. Doesn't matter what level it is. Just getting used to saying, okay, if somebody, and this is how I learned how to do it. Okay. So this is some top level shit right here, bro.
Okay.
So as far as how I learned how to do it is I looked at my own first set, something that I really cared about when I was actually trying. So it wasn't like a for fun game with friends. It was like not online. It wasn't a quick play, whatever. It was a real tournament set offline against someone who was better than me. Right. So that was a big part of it as well. I wasn't just going to go in there and destroy them, because you can't learn much if you destroy your opponent. Right. So instead of saying this is good and this is bad and I should do this again and this I should never do again and this would have worked if I was faster, instead of saying stuff like that, because I didn't know that stuff, I just said, if I got hit at all, why? That's all I did, right? So if I just jumped in with a fair, I didn't care what he did to punish me. It's the fact that I got punished. It's like, okay, if I jump in with a fair and I got hit with a nair or a back air or an up smash or a pivot grab, that didn't matter. It was the fact that I jumped in with a fair and he knew that that's what was going to happen. Right. So before I even got to a point of saying, okay, how did he know? That didn't even matter. It's not the fact that how did he know? It's the fact that what I did got punished. And then I did that for every single time I took damage at all. And then I looked at those, I guess I made a spreadsheet for myself to look at the numbers and say, okay, if I look at the numbers, what one thing or what couple of things, if anything, really stood out against everything? Was there like every single time I spot dodged, I got grabbed or multi-jabbed or up smash? Like, is that what the habit was? Or every single time I did a F smash, or let's say not F smash, we'll say every time I rolled in, I got punished, right? So if like, okay, let's say I rolled in 4 times or 6 times in the entire game, and out of those 6 times I rolled, he punished 5, I'd say, okay, I don't know if this is considered a bad habit or he just knew or whatever, but that was a habit, period. Right? One of the things that a lot of players get hung up on is that they see the idea of a habit and they're all considered bad. So if you have a habit, it's a bad habit. It's like, no, it's not a bad habit. It's a habit. It's a habit and it's just neutral, right? What makes it a bad habit is if somebody catches on to it. That's what makes it a bad habit, right? So for me, looking at like the Cola and Ned video or that set, there wasn't necessarily bad habits from Ned. The fact that he was doing double jump landing nair as Sephiroth isn't a bad habit. Clearly it's not a bad habit, because if it was, he probably wouldn't have came second place at a tournament, right? It clearly worked on every other person he fought. So it's not a bad habit, it's just a habit. So when Cola was catching on to that stuff and he was punishing it, or one time he tried to go for a pair and he just mistimed it, it's like, okay, this is a habit that I can exploit, because there's a certain area in the stage or a certain pattern that I can just produce that when Ned sees this, he's going to do this, right? Or same thing with like the blade beams on the ledge, saying, okay, when Ned is on the ledge, he doesn't roll, he doesn't like try to get up attack, he doesn't try to like jump past me, he stalls. He's stalling on the ledge. And just being aware of the character, saying, okay, since he's stalling on the ledge and he has more range, whether he does a charged up B or he does a fair or whatever he does, right? He has multiple jumps with one winged angel as well. Just knowing that, either Cola had two options. Option number one, play ultra aggressive right up to the ledge. So if he tried to jump on stage with a fair, he could up smash, up B, or jump over top with a fair of his own. Or he could stay further back and shoot at a blade beam and say, if you're going to hang on ledge and like stick the sword into the stage and try and jump and do all this stuff and essentially just stall, I'm going to throw this out to pressure you. If it hits you, it's a bonus. And if it misses, it says, hey, stop doing this or you're going to die. Right? So those are habits. And then this is the as far as moving forward to say, okay, this is considered a bad habit. A bad habit is in the context of that particular fight. That's all it is. A habit is a bad habit based on the context of a particular fight. So with regards to Ned, this is actually something that I wouldn't even consider this to be a bad habit. This is something that I would actually coach to a Sephiroth player, is if you happen to miss an aerial or land on shield with a fair or a nair, or maybe you do like jab one, or maybe you spot dodge right next to their shield, do a retreating aerial. Do a retreating fair, retreating back air, whatever you want, because you have so much range and a disjoint and potentially kill power if they drop shield early, that if they try and chase you, you'll just kill them or at least hit them off stage, right?
Yeah.
But that being said, back air for Sephiroth is frame 15, forward air is frame 13, and the fact that he has to land with his nair first and then jump and then do the back air means there's a period of time where he has no hitboxes out. He's entirely vulnerable. So at the end of the game, for example, I think he did either a forward tilt or something. He might have done like a landing nair on Cola's shield. And as soon as he landed that nair on his shield, he knew that Ned wasn't going to grab, right? He knew he wasn't going to grab. He knew he wasn't going to spot dodge. He knew he wasn't going to jab. He knew he was going to go for a retreating aerial, whether it's a forward air or a back air, preferably a back air. But either way, he knew he's going to do that. So as soon as the nair landed, with zero hesitation, he dropped shield, ran underneath him, and up smashed. Right, and it worked. But that being said, Ned doing that retreating back air was not a bad habit against every other person that he fought. It was a good habit. I didn't see all of his sets, but I'm sure he won a couple of games or took a couple stocks because of that, or got himself people off stage and got ledge traps because of it, or got a reversal where he was like up super high percent and he could have got killed, but that got him off stage and he got to collect himself and then get a ledge trap or a juggle situation, or maybe even made a comeback thanks to a situation like that where someone thought they could drop shield and dash and grab him, or drop shield and like do a fair towards him or something, right? Or like back air at a shield. And it's like, yes, I have range in a disjoint, it's just going to work, right? So for yourself, and this is where it goes from matchup to matchup, or from player to player even more so. If you are playing Joker against somebody playing, I don't know, keep it simple, say Mario, right? If this Mario is landing multiple up smashes on you, there's potential that you're doing one of three things at least. You're landing on his shield with Nair, right? And then you're trying to like jab or something. You're whiffing grabs right in front of him, or you're trying to get a grab and he's spot dodging into up smash or spot dodging into down smash, or you're not respecting the fact that you can't land on him. If you're trying to land on him, let's say you come down with guns down and then you cancel into a back air. You're trying to catch him before he catches you. So that doesn't work. That's never going to work. If you're playing against a good Mario, and this is the thing in the context of player to player, if this guy is good, like if he's really good, you're either going to get hit every single time you try and do that, or you're going to trade every single time you do that, right? So his up smash versus your back air. If you trade, you're going to lose. Right? If you have Arsene and let's say he's at 110 and you're at I don't know, 130 or whatever, you could hit each other at the same time and potentially almost die at the exact same time, right? But that situation, once again, so incredibly specific and niche. But throughout the entirety of the game, let's say every time he had you in the air, you do guns down to land. As soon as you get close to the ground, cancel back air, and every single time either land on his shield and he gets a grab, or you land on his shield and he up smashes, or he even up smashes before you touch his shield and he hits you before your back air even comes out, right? So in the context of Mario, and let's say that player, if you see that that's what's happening, or that is how you are getting hit, maybe you're not dying because of that, but that's how you're getting hit, that would be considered a bad habit on your part against that person, right? There could be other players that let's say I don't know, we'll say like Greninja or something, someone who doesn't have the best out of shield game as far as speed, right? Let's say you do something like that and you land on his shield and then he tries to like nair out of shield and you get a chance to get to the ground and shield or spot dodge every single time. He nairs over top of you, then you dash under him and up smash, and you're hitting him into juggle situations, or you're killing him, or you're winning games because of that, right? It can reinforce that habit on your part is good because it worked, right?
Depending on the context. Right.
Yes. So this is how you have to adapt to somebody, right? You adapt to somebody by saying, okay, I'm going to test out what typically works most of the time on most players. If it doesn't work, do I have a fallback plan? And also, like, this whole thing, all encompassing, is saying, can I adapt? If this doesn't work, can I adapt? Can I adjust? So instead of just losing because my natural play style is what I want to do and it doesn't work, can I adjust and say maybe do something that's unorthodox and then potentially win or make a comeback, right? Or make them have to adjust to you. So it's a bit more of a back and forth rather than just saying, I want to do this, and if it doesn't work ever, then maybe I'm not doing it fast enough, or maybe I'm not maybe I'm not delaying it enough or whatever. It's like, no, this will never ever work, right?
Okay.
So
well, that helps.
Yeah, there's a lot there, but like I said, the biggest thing too is the repetition of practicing this as far as looking at sets all the time. This is all I do, literally all I do. As far as like even looking when I play against like someone like yourself or other students, every single time we play our first game, I try my best to memorize the entire thing. Right? Literally the entire thing. I'm not going to remember it like tomorrow because it doesn't matter tomorrow, but it matters right now in the context of you're paying for a coaching session and you want value. And the best way I can give you value is to, number one, pay attention. Number two, have solutions for the issues that might be your habits, whether they're good or bad habits, right? And then being able to say, if you do this and it doesn't work, do this instead. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Because telling somebody, there's lots of coaches out there that are absolute garbage because they'll give you advice like, you roll too much, roll less. It's like, okay, what should I do instead of roll? No comment. It's like, just roll less. Like, that's not advice. Like, it is advice, but that's the worst advice ever. You know? It's like it's the same thing as like if you're into like health and fitness. If someone's trying to lose weight, you say, eat better. It's like, well, what is better than what I'm eating? It's like, just don't eat what you're eating currently. It's like, okay, well, so I have McDonald's instead of, or Subway instead of McDonald's. Is like, it is better, but is it better? Like, really? It's not really, you know? So it doesn't actually help as far as that kind of advice. You need, don't eat this, eat this, and it will work. Or in the context of, don't land on this guy's shield because he's up smashing you. Land on a platform and then like get down or go to the ledge. Or if he's really being aggressive, this is where you could use your Rebel's Guard, right? Use Rebel's Guard even just once and see how he reacts. If you Rebel's Guard and he hits you and he gives you Arsene, guess who's never up smashing you ever again? Right? All of a sudden his up smash, which was destroying you, is now he's going to hesitate, which means you can do guns down into Rebel's Guard if he hits you, right? Or you can do guns down and just land beside him and get a grab. Right? Because he's scared. It's like, if I up smash this guy like with Mario up smash, if you even have like 25% Arsene, you're getting full Arsene if you're getting up smash, right? And then he does not want to deal with that. So if someone is really, really being aggressive out of shield because you're being really aggressive landing on them, that's your counterplay, or one of your things of counterplay. As far as you can go for the Rebel's Guard, you can land beside him, right?
Or the grab.
Also, like, we'll get into a game quickly. I know we're over time, but now we got to do this for the culture, you know. So for example, if I were to, and I was doing this at the beginning of our session, very first game. Remember how many times I jumped on your head? You were standing like right here, right? So stand right here. And I was just going like this, right? And you were shielding. I was just doing this. So, and I wasn't doing this to like joke around. This is part of testing someone, right? If I go like this and I jump on your head, or like, let's say you're shielding and I jump like that, do you just instantly up smash, right? Or do you spot dodge? Or do you nair? Or do you back air? Like, did you try and grab? Like, what do you do when I do this, right? But if I go like this and you just stay in shield, so go into shield for a second, and then I want you to try and, well, once the leg goes away, I want you to try and like up smash, right? So as soon as that happens, you can just try and up smash, right? I know we got leg coming through hardcore, but it's okay. Try it again. Try it again. So if I go like that, if you tried to up smash right there or something like that.
Okay. Instead of okay.
So now what that would tell me is that you're very aggressive when I go close to your shield, right? Which means that I could do something like this. So come back to the middle.
Yep.
So I can go like this. I think you can go for your up smash. I can come down and get a grab. Because if you miss, you're probably scared, right? Or you might spot dodge, for example, right? Or better yet, let's say another one I could do is, let's say, if I come down on your shield, if I go like this, and as soon as I get close to your shield, just jump in there, right? So go like this, jump on your head. So you go, let's say, so as soon as let me go, so I want you to shield first, and as soon as I touch your shield the first time, I want you to just jump in there. Okay, so I'm gonna jump, and then as soon as I come to here, just jump in there like that. So if something like that happens, right? What I could do instead is I can go like this, and instead of jumping on your head like this and getting you to go for a nair, I just go like this and then just shield. Right? So when you jump in there, you're going to land right on my shield with a rising aerial, which is the worst possible thing most characters can do, right? Rising aerials basically always have landing lag, unless it's a character that can do multiple rising aerials before they touch the ground. Somebody like Young Link, right? Young Link, Roy, I think Marth Lucina as well. But like, I can't do a fair, then do another fair before I touch the ground. I have to touch the ground, right? Same thing with like Ike, right? Ike's not going to do rising aerials no matter what. He's always going to do falling aerials. But just as an example, if I see something like that come out, where it's like, okay, I'm going to jump towards you. If I go like this, like, let's say you go for a grab, or let's say you go for, let's say you can go for a grab. So if I think you're going to go for a grab, this is also getting very niche, right? Instead of going like this and jumping off your head, because if you go for a grab, I'm so high up that you could shield again, right? So instead of going like this and then jumping, what I would do is I go like this and try and land behind you. Right? So when you go, like, if you see, like, let's say if I'm right here, and let's say before I was going like this and landing on you, and he's grabbed me, it's like, okay, he just grabs him immediately. So I'll go like this, and I'll land like right beside you. If you're going to shield for a second, so if I go like this, and then right here, for example, you don't really know, and we're obviously we're staging right now, but in a real game, you can't really predict which side I'm going to land on, like without processing it beforehand. Right. Also, if I were, let's go like this and like fall through you like that, if you hit somebody with an attack, you can phase through them while they're in shield. Right. Because I hit you while I was on this side and I came through like that. Right. So if I do that, for example, you could try and grab, in which case I can go for a turnaround grab. Right. Because you're stuck in your grab animation. And if I'm really slow, for example, let's say I do that falling up air, I could like dash away and still get a grab because you're standing there doing a grab out of shield. Right. So as far as, let's say my bad habit, or let's say it used to be a good habit, but let's say in the case of fighting against you, maybe it was a bad habit. If I go like this and I come down and try and get you to like drop shield early so I can hit you with that last hit and just play like a gimmicky game, if you know how that works, you can grab it every single time, right? You can get a grab, you can potentially get maybe up smash if you're really fast, right? So instead of me landing on there because they're clearly not falling for it, it's not like, oh, I should have just fared later and tried to like trick them or something. It's like, no, it's never going to work. It'll literally never work. So I'm way better off going for something like this, getting behind you. And if you go for a grab, because you're not doing it on reaction, you're doing it on the second I touch your shield with literally anything, you're going to try and grab me, right? So if I know that, I can get behind you, right?
Okay.
Obviously, we're talking about like the full hop example, right? But like, I was the same thing like when I was going like this, right? As soon as I go like this, do you nair, do you back air, do you up smash, do you try and grab? Doesn't matter what you do, I'm going to have counterplay for it. So if you try to up smash right there, I'm going to dash in and go for a grab. If you try and go for a nair, and you nair like towards me, I'm going to run underneath you and up tilt you, or I'm going to jump towards you in nair, or jump towards you in fair. Because when you go for your rising nair, it happens so early that the move is going to run out before you can hit me, right? So those are the types of things, like it's very, very niche, but as you progress as a player and just even looking at VODs or looking at how other players play, you'll see that stuff a lot more and be like, oh, it's just a habit. It's not a good or a bad habit. It's more so it's a habit. Let's see if the other person, or in this case, let's see if you can catch on and manipulate it into being a bad habit.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. That's essentially the very, very long answer of how you look at habits and you can determine it. Just, I think the biggest takeaway for sure is just look at a habit in the context of being neutral. That's probably the most important thing. Look in the context of being neutral, and then if you know how to turn it into a bad habit for them, it's now a positive for yourself.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Okay.
Right.